Welcome to This Is My Architecture. Today I have here Carlos from Majid Futtaim. Hi, Carlos.
Hi, Cameron.
Hi. Can you tell me a little bit more about Majid Futtaim?
Yeah, so Majid Futtaim is a multi-billion company. We are in 14 countries and we have business like retail, real estate, we have malls, and we have leisure and entertainment.
I see that we have a very interesting architecture here today.
Yes.
Tell me what problem you were trying to solve.
So the three pillars we want to solve is how to collect the data, how to protect the data, and how to connect the data.
Okay, so you have data from various sources and you want to get value out of that, extract value out of it.
Exactly. So we call it the grid. So we start, all of the infrastructure is defined with our DevOps team in code. So we can just spin the architecture or the infrastructure from them. And then you get your front end and you connect to our meta manager.
Okay. And what is the meta manager?
The manager is the brains of the grid, and the main goal is to abstract you from the complexity of all this technology you need to move this data.
And I see that you're running that on EKS as well.
Yeah, it's EKS microservice architecture, yes.
So that's collecting the data from the various sources. You have Elasticsearch there as well.
Yes.
What's happening there?
So first you need to understand which data you have. So you need to discover which tables, schemas, APIs you have, right? So we'll get all of this data into Meta Manager. We'll discover and we'll store this meta information in our meta store, which is a combination of document and graph database.
Okay. So now you have indexed the data. What's next?
So first step is collect, as we mentioned before, right? So we need to get all of this data into our centralized data lake so we can get all the data together and we can do insights, etc., right? So all of this data are in different networks, different countries, different technology. So we use a combination of Kafka and EMR to bring this data into our data lake.
Okay, so you're taking data into Kafka and streaming them into S3 and EMR. What kind of scale are we talking about?
Yeah, so in Kafka, we are talking about 600 topics, 250 gigabytes, and in average, we have 7 days attention period. So all of the data is stored in S3.
Okay, and what kind of scale do we have in S3?
Yeah, so in S3, we have around 60 terabytes today. Sorry for my writing.
No problem. Great amount of data there. All right. So now you have collected the data in the data lake. What's next? How do you consume this?
Yeah. So first, let me just explain. So we just the data coming in and out of data lake, right? So this data, we need to protect the data, right? So our meta manager also will apply all of this data governance on top of this data. And then we need to consume this data. So for example, we have RDS and Vertica. So the data is sent to these data stores. We can publish or consume using APIs or OLTPs if we need.
Okay, and this is your data analysts and data scientists are then going to consume this data.
This is a traditional analytics we have in each company. You have your data analysts and your data science. They need to consume the data. They need to run models. They need to create dashboards, etc.
Great. So now you have consumed the data, collected the data. How do we connect to users?
That's a very good point. The data comes from different sources and applications because we also consume from APIs, and then we bring this data back to our business. So we are able to connect back. One of the key components is the enterprise streaming platform that we created across all the companies in MAF. This is something that we bring to MAF.
So basically, I go to watch a movie at Vox Cinema, and then I go to Carrefour to do shopping. What kind of experience am I getting?
That's a very good point. Imagine you come to one of our iconic malls, Mall of Emirates. You come with your car, you park. So we get your plate number, we know where you park. You enter inside the mall, you connect to the Wi-Fi. We know how you move inside the mall. Now you are doing your groceries in Carrefour, and you use our loyalty application. So we know that you come to the cinemas before. We know you like cinema. So we can provide for you a push notification, and we can offer to you a free bag service. So we'll take your groceries, bring to your car, and then you can come to the movies with a free popcorn voucher.
I'll always love free popcorn. Great. So I know you have made this, there's a lot of complexity in our architecture, and we've really simplified it. What is one thing that you're really proud of from your team that's delivered this architecture?
Yeah, so we provide this DevOps approach to the company, and we are able to spin up and spin down the infrastructure as we need. So for example, in our IT test, we create all the infrastructure, we run the test, and then we destroy the infrastructure. And we built this in 6 months. We put our first MVP in production.
Wow. And for a non-technology company, spinning it up and spinning down infrastructure as code.
Yeah.
That's great. So what kind of a business benefit has your company realized with this data lake architecture?
So one of the first things that we provided is a 360 view of our customers. So before you were a customer in Vox and a customer in Carrefour, and we couldn't relate together. Now we know you are the same customer. So we can do cross campaigns, for example, for marketing. So we can connect Carrefour and Vox with our marketing in holding, and we can do these campaigns like the push notification I explained.
That's good. Carlos, thank you for sharing your work with me today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining This Is My Architecture.